minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. That's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. Oh, I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try and take it from me, from me, from me, from me, from me.
Big time, number 9. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Monday edition of the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley here. We got, the angry Baker Mayfield hater there in the middle. We got Quinn on the right side, Rob, EB, and Paul Munson. Gentlemen, how was your weekend?
It was very good.
Phenomenal.
It had nothing to do with the Browns.
Oh, you had an actual bad weekend?
It was terrible.
I'm sorry.
Stay tuned to the Spark.
Okay. Quinn, how about you?
It was good. It was nice.
And lastly, Mr. Mush?
No complaints. If I had complaints, nobody would listen, right?
There it is, buddy. There it is.
Listen to me today. Let me tell you something. Go listen.
Billy is on fire
I can't
today.
Wait to hear it.
Already. But as we do with each in... Oh, I thought that was Quinn.
Price check.
Clean up on aisle 4.
We have a lost kid in the middle school. Somebody come claim him.
It is it's Columbus Day. So my question to you is, what is your favorite thing about not Christopher Columbus, because that can be interpreted many different ways this holiday. What's your favorite thing about Columbus, Ohio? Billy Mack.
I mean, if you've been to Columbus, it's basically Ohio State everything. Every store has Ohio State or Buckeye thing. It's very college town. I mean, it's the capital of the state, but it's also just a college town. And without the college, there's really nothing there in Columbus. It's just a great feel, especially if you're a Buckeye fan. It's a great place to go to. It's the home of the motherland.
Quinn?
Yeah, I mean, other than the Ohio State University being there, I mean, maybe the varsity club. That's about the only other thing there.
What's the varsity? Help me out here. What's the varsity club?
A
drunken time. That's what it is.
That's basically, yes.
Yeah. Basically, whenever the state tournament was there, that's where the coaches were.
It's basically a hole-in-the-wall restaurant and bar.
But it's awesome.
It's legendary.
Okay, fair enough. Rob?
Don't get it twisted. Columbus is God's country. And if you've ever been down there for a game, it is absolutely crazy. I've been to NFL cities. I've been to a few college towns. Ohio State is bonkers on Saturday. If you've never been, if you're a Buckeyes fan, you got to make it.
EB?
I was going to go varsity club, but that just goes to when they had the state tournaments down there, just going down there for the state tournaments. Because it wasn't always necessarily going to watch the best teams in the state, but that's where you network a lot, and you become friends with a lot of these coaches, and you kind of learn their story, and everyone's going to throw in Ohio State, but that's kind of it was just cool because it brought everyone together.
Paul?
I've been down there for a bunch of Buckeye games, a bunch of big ones, Michigan games, Texas, but my favorite thing about Columbus was 2018, Huntington Park, state championship. That's all I need to say.
You stole mine, naturally. I was going to go. Huntington Park is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Love that they're having it, up here, a little bit closer to home. However, I think Huntington Park is one of the best minor league places in the entire country. I really do. It could easily be a major league field. For some of these teams, and might be better than some of the major league facilities in some cities. So that's my favorite. I'm doubling up with Paul with Huntington Park because we all know how I feel about the Ohio State University Buckeyes. Play somebody. All right, it's time for our Would You Rather. This one we're going to take a little personal. Would you rather? How do I do it? Would you rather watch everybody else's team win but yours, right? Baseball, football, whatever. Or would you rather listen to apologists on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram all day about something that is completely backwards? Let's start with Billy Mack.
Trying to dissect this question here.
Yeah, me too.
Would I rather watch my team lose or everybody else's team win? I ain't got
Your
time
team-
for apologies. First off, apologies and kiss my ass. So I don't apologize. So period. End of story. I'd rather watch everybody else's teams win because at least I'm doing something productive. Listen to an apology. Everybody has them. They all stink.
Pretty much, DJ just described every Browns fan in 2016.
And yesterday.
And the majority of their life.
I'm not in that I'm a Browns fan, but I am here.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm actually a normal Browns fan too.
Yeah. So here's where that came from. Obviously, if you were on social media yesterday, you caught the tidal wave of apologists for Baker, for Stefanski, for this person. Everybody was all over that pass interference call. One call the entire game. Nobody got mad. 4th and 5, throw it to Odell Beckham, completely misses it. Nobody gets mad when the last 2 drives of the game, Baker can't make anything happen. I'm trying to figure this out, where we've come to one play in an entire game, and that is what dictates a win and a loss, a victory and defeat.
It was a terrible call
Yes.
But I see through that, and I see for what it is. And it's, again, listen, there's injuries for the Browns. They have injuries, right? But injuries are part of the game. AJ Green, you stink. Like, you stink. You should
AJ
quit.
Green?
Yes, he's a corner for the Browns.
Oh.
He stinks. Number 38. Terrible. Like, did Sendejo come back in disguise? Like, he's bad. All right, he's just awful. Not like, granted, he's an undrafted rookie, whatever. Like, somebody thinks he's a player. That guy should be fired too. Okay, whoever brought him in, fired. Today is Black Monday, and people are getting fired in Cleveland. Now, like, granted, we got some injuries, but like, you got professional athletes out there. Figure it out. Make one stop. And like, geez, OP. Baker Mayfield continues just to prove me right. When it counts, he cannot do it. He can't be the guy that takes you to the next level. You saw a guy. Herbert is a dude. He's a dude. He goes out there, boom, 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 touchdown, tutty, wide open, tutty, boom, finds a guy, hits his. Oh, look, there's Williams again, his number one target. We don't even throw to our best wide receiver. We only target him 3 times. Underneath routes at that. Yeah, he dropped one. I get it. Williams dropped 3 passes. He still had 14 targets. So, and he had a hell of a day.
So would you rather watch everybody's team win but yours, or go on social media and listen to people talk about how great your team is and you know they're not?
No, I'd rather watch everybody else's team win.
Okay, Quinn?
Yeah, I would rather watch everybody else win.
Rob?
I'd say it's a tie. I mean, honestly, I couldn't care less because you know what's coming regardless every week. So if you're a Browns fan, we've been dealing with shenanigans for, 20 years now? A little bit over 20 years. Nothing surprises me anymore. You're going to get people going left. You're going to get people going right. So, I mean, Baker's going to be a god one week, and he's going to be a piece of garbage the next. So, for me, it honestly doesn't matter. But if I had to pick, are you asking me, watching everybody else's team win, does that mean my team's losing every time?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. No.
All right, so let's just say that's the case. I'd rather listen I'd rather read the morons on Facebook.
Okay. EB?
I watch my team lose. I mean, it's just a team that I like. It's not like I have a personal vested interest. I don't have money tied in. I don't have anything. It's just entertainment. And so take it for face value. And if I get to listen to Billy Mack go on a rant like that, I'm in.
I'm not done yet.
He's far from done.
I know. So I'm definitely I'm all about it. Like I will pass my time to Billy Mack. Just for that.
To the representative from Nevada. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, all, and it's not just Cleveland fans or Pittsburgh fans or anybody. Like, all fan bases are just insane because they all have excuses for something. Like, I mean, we see it a lot here because we're in the Pittsburgh, Cleveland area, but I guarantee you go out west, the San Francisco people are crazy, Seattle people are crazy. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. If you're one of those fans, you always make apologies for something or excuses for something. So, I mean, I guess I'd rather see everybody else win and maybe my team's winning too, because, seeing those people just talk and it's like, whatever. It's a team. You stink sometimes, you're good sometimes. It's just how it is. I mean, but the excuses that everybody has is always just like it's a joke, because it's just like, come on, whatever.
Maybe I'm not surrounding myself with the right people, but yesterday I did not see much in the way of gloating from Steelers fans. Did anybody?
No, not really. Honestly, no.
And I think that's the difference. Is every time I hear, the Steelers fans do this all, and listen, they probably do. There's probably Steelers fans that are way over the top.
I think Steelers fans have been humbled early in the season, though. To be fair, I think they kind of been humbled early, so it's like, okay, we're just going to just let this win happen and see you next week. You know what I mean? And they win next week.
Keep in mind too, Steelers fans too. If not all of them, not every single one, but there are some bullies over there. There was years and years and years where the rivalry was basically dying out, so they were going to pick us on us every chance they got. They understand that realistically this year, when Pittsburgh plays Cleveland, that game is most likely going to be favored for Cleveland. So they know better than to start running off the mouth now than just to get their asses handed to them in a few weeks or wherever they play. That's my take on it.
And you're probably spot on. But I'm also interested because I feel like, do I like what I saw yesterday from a Steelers perspective? More so than the first couple weeks, but I feel like the arrow's going up on the Steelers. The offensive line certainly played better than they were.
Oh yeah.
And listen, I've said this before. They have been the problem. And with Juju being out for the season now, I don't care. That doesn't affect the Steelers' chances one iota to me. And I could be way off here, but I don't like the guy. I'm not a fan of the guy. He hasn't been an impact player at all this season. So he can do his TikToks with one arm, I guess, now. So good luck to him. But I just thought it was interesting yesterday. I saw more Browns fans complaining after the week before they were on their way to the Super Bowl. Now it's one play is going to cost them. And dude, Billy, I will say this. It isn't many times that I'm on your side and I'm a Billy Mack defender. I saw everything that you have been talking about in full force yesterday. Baker apologists everywhere. Everywhere.
Well, you're a team that scores 40-some points, like almost 500 yards in total offense, and you don't win the game. They say it was the first time an NFL team's ever done that. Like, you should have won the game. I mean, and you're up by 2 touchdowns, and then it goes back and forth. I mean, it was like they almost went to that defense and it reminded me a lot of the old Ohio State, defense. Like, just try not to lose the game. We have the lead. Just let's get through this and not lose the game. And like, you let a team sneak back in, and I mean, listen, I mean, they're all pros out there. They all should be doing their job, but just sitting there watching the defense a couple times, I mean, I was like, what were they thinking? I mean, there was 2 big plays, and I was like, where were they at? It's like, that's your Achilles heel right now, because you should have ran all over that team, which they did. I mean, they ran all over them all day long, and then you just let them like sneak back in. And I mean, over 100 points scored in a game, over 1,000 yards, which they said was another rarity in the NFL. It was like a first that 2 teams combined for
There's a record.
yardage.
It was the most total yards in a game.
Yeah.
There's a record. Yeah.
I mean, but really, if you think about it that way, if the shoe's on another foot, like, and we'll say Cleveland wins the game, then the Chargers are the first team to, have 40 points, 500 yards. I don't know if they had a turnover or not. I don't think there's any turnovers, but nonetheless, I mean, it was an exciting game to watch. As I'm not a Browns fan, but dude, you're sitting at 3-2. I mean, it's not like these.
It's not the end of the world. You're right.
Yeah, like the season isn't over, and you would think like the Browns are done for the rest of the year.
But it is a tough stretch, and it's an easier stretch for the team over to the east in Pittsburgh, especially with Russell Wilson being out for a month.
So, dude, the Pittsburgh defense looked phenomenal yesterday. Ben still can't throw down the field to save his life. Not accurately.
Whoa.
But
no, he can't.
Whoa!
It's not a dig at a Steelers fan though. That's the problem with Steelers fans. He said, "Well, let's call a spade here. Ben's not the most accurate person down the field right now. He's not."
Yeah.
But like, it's not. I'm not bashing Steelers.
No, but I'm like, show me evidence. I mean, he dropped a dime to Deontay Johnson, no problem.
And we can go back and watch, and I can throw you 4 or 5 different times he overthrew his wide receivers by 15 yards or underthrew them.
Well, even Ben knows he's playing through some pain right now. Like and plus DJ, like you were saying, according to Steelers practice, they were focused and they challenged the offensive line this week.
Oh, absolutely.
And the offensive line showed up, and the thing is about Pittsburgh, just like any other team, I don't care how many skill positions you have, you can have the best receivers, you can have the best running backs, you can have the best quarterback, and your quarterback can even be mediocre. The offensive line is going to dictate how your offense moves the ball down the field and how many points you score.
Sure, and it's a lot easier when your running back goes over 100 yards. It feeds right into Billy Mack's point. When you've got 2 running backs that can get over 100 yards, Baker Mayfield should be able to cruise down the field pretty easily. And I saw the Colin Cowherd. I saw Who else was it? Somebody else was talking about trust. It might have been Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Yeah.
And he was talking like the Browns don't trust Baker Mayfield, and it's now completely obvious. Completely obvious.
I'm going to put it to you like this. First thing I want to say is, like, yes. So people got really offended yesterday when I said Baker is the problem why we lost. And it really is. To me, it is. It's 100% the reason why. Now, did the defense play good? No, they did. Obvious. Like, hello, they gave up 47 points. Obviously, the defense didn't play very good. But if Aaron Rodgers gave up 47 points, he took up 23 seconds to go 60 yards and be in position to win. Baker took 1 minute and 5 seconds to go 12 yards. Like, hello. And I don't want to hear any more of this crap about Baker's a top 10 quarterback. Because when you think of a top 10 quarterback, you think of a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's a top 3, top 5 guy. He's going to put you in position to win a football game every time. Baker can't do that. You saw it yesterday. Not a very good Chargers defense, okay? Not a very good one. Obviously, they gave up 42 points. You couldn't even put your team in the position with 1 minute and 40-something seconds to even get across midfield. Yeah, 1 minute and 3 seconds to go 12 yards. Like, hello. Like, I'm sick of the excuses. Landry's not there. Landry's the guy. We went and got Odell. And all those same people are sitting here saying Odell is the savior, and nobody here is going to say Odell's not talented. Nobody here. My personal opinion is Baker hates Odell. And I don't care what nobody says. He hates Odell. He refuses to throw to him. When he first got him, it was like the shiny new toy. Let me throw it to him. And he started listening to the media, him trying to force feed the ball. And now he's like, well, I just got to let it develop. No. Your coach has got to do a better job of creating plays, because every coach, when they have a weapon like Odell, creates 5 to 7 plays a game, and they get Odell the football. And not just this stupid crap end around. Like, he's not a running back. Give him the ball in space down the field at 10 or 15 yards. Design a play that makes sense for him.
Let me ask
you. Him just running the decoy route, go run a 9 route. Stupid.
He did drop that 4th and 5, though, man. That was bad.
He dropped. Yes.
Yeah, but you think if they kick that field goal there, so now, it's a field goal. So now in that last, 2 minutes, granted, I know you guys only went 10 yards, 12 yards, but that changes your whole, dynamic, because it only puts you down 3 points instead of putting you down, 6 or 7 or 8, whatever it was. So,
that's that stupid analytics stuff that they're trying to do in Cleveland. The go for it on 4th downs and trying to score touchdowns compared to kicking field goals and things like that. Like, it's like I don't know. I don't know the odds on it.
That 3 points turned out to be huge for him, because that changes how you like the amount of yards you have to get to at least send it into overtime.
4th and 5 from the inside the 20. The statistics actually go down from you scoring on that play, right? So, and because you have not as much room to get your receivers out there and work the field, either separate your receivers, get your tight ends underneath, or you're back out of the backfield. So if you're going for 4th and 5, everybody thinks, well, it's 5 yards, it's not that much. But you don't have as much space to play in. So everything's contained. It's like playing football in a phone booth. That's what people don't understand. They're talking about this analytics and, oh my gosh, Stefanski is absolutely breathtaking with the way he calls plays. He's the coach of the year. The dude, the reason he's the coach of the year, and I explained this to Scotty a couple weeks ago, was because he took a bad Browns team and made them good, and they won a game in the playoffs. End of story. Because most coaches of the year end up being Super Bowl champions or runners-up. That's how it is.
Right, and I think where he got outcoached was he made a poor decision on the drive after the missed extra point when it was 42-41, and it was a 3-and-out. He mismanaged that entire drive.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
So bad.
Yeah. All he needed was
that almost looked like. That looked like the Browns in the early 2000s when they were trying to be all conservative. That's exactly what that drive looked like, and I was so confused by it.
So let me ask you this:
a couple first downs is all you needed, and you iced that game.
So let me ask you this question, because this is what we talked about at HQ for a great majority of the day, and Quinn got to sit here as coach, and I went back and forth. 3rd and whatever, right? You need a first down, and you see 8 guys in the box.
You hand the ball off.
Wait,
Oh,
you're
he's
saying
not
they?
saying you should.
No,
He's saying
okay.
That's
And
what
that's what they
happened.
did.
That's what they
handed the
did.
ball
Okay,
off.
so any quarterback that's worth their salt walks up to the line and immediately hot route. You know, one of those, and you have plays built in. You have audibles built in from that formation that you can throw a pass out of it, even if it's you've got two receivers and a guy in the backfield. Use your extra tight ends. And I don't care if it's a screen pass. I don't care if it's whatever.
You're telling me that Odell Beckham is on the outside one-on-one with anybody, and for anybody's team, like they're gonna bet on their best receiver, whoever it is, against anybody in the league one-on-one. Like they're gonna audible to a one-on-one, quick route to whoever their best receiver is. When they see one-on-one,
But that's it. You
not
hit it right on the nose, Billy. Baker either doesn't have the power to make that audible, or he didn't. And that's either way, it's
He
bad.
checked into the run.
He looked like he
checked-
audible into the run.
Oh
yeah,
my
I
gosh.
I thought he killed it, and he checked into the run.
And if he didn't, but regardless, like everything Billy's saying about Baker Mayfield, I pretty much agree with, and I agree with how when it comes to the fans and how they go back and forth. Here's what I would say about Baker Mayfield. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Here's what I've seen since he's entered the NFL. All right, I was going to call him. I was going to refer to him as Johnny Manziel too when he first showed up, and I ate my words pretty quick. The thing about Baker Mayfield is he seems to get better every season for the most part. Now, put that, and I'm telling you right now, he's downplaying this injury, but that injury is affecting him. All right, I don't care what anybody says. He was, in my opinion, he was on his way to have a pretty decent year, and then he got hurt. Regardless if it's that throwing shoulder or not, it's still affecting his gameplay, in my opinion. So he was supposed to get even better this year. Now we're going to take a step back, and what you're going to see now is more inconsistency than anything, in my opinion. So,
See, I disagree with that only because of how much he's been running and how he's been running the football. If he was actually physically hurt, like there's hurt and then there's injured, right? If he was hurt as bad as people want him to be, so it's a crutch, no pun intended, he would not be running the football, stiff-arming people, doing all that stuff on the outside. He'd be sliding a hell of a lot more and probably sitting back in the pocket and chucking it.
It's not a pain.
but if you look at last week compared to this week, last week he looked absolutely horrible, and then this week he actually didn't look bad, like you're saying, the running plays. What I'm saying is the inconsistency is going to show up more than the productivity.
Who was it last week?
The Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, that's who he is. He's Kirk Cousins.
That's who, you're exactly right.
I've been saying it since after the first season. He's Kirk Cousins. He's not going to do anything to really necessarily hurt you now that he's eliminated the turnovers. He's not going to hurt you anything, but he's not going to go out there and win you a football game. And I don't want to listen. Yes, everybody chill out. We've had terrible quarterbacks. We've been unlucky at the quarterback position, so we finally found a competent one, and now they think he's Jesus. He's not Jesus. That guy is in Tampa Bay and in Green Bay. Those two guys will go if they have talent around them. They're just like every other quarterback who can win you big time football games. Sometimes not even having talent around them.
Listen,
they can put you in positions. The last thing I'll say about Baker is this, right? If he's that guy, and this is really more towards Scotty. If he's a top 10 guy, and you believe he's a top 10 guy, then how come he hasn't gotten an extension yet? This is his 5th year.
That's a good point.
Timekeeper, I'd like to
Because
forward
every
my
other
time to Billy
quarterback
Mack.
would have been extended by now.
So what do you think's going to
That's a good
happen?
point.
He's going to be franchise tagged. He's going to have the Dak Prescott treatment.
Ooh. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So that's going to buy you 1 year. What are you going to do after that?
I don't know the answer. I know that I was talking to Quinn. There's not like a bunch of guys out there that go out and get. So I'm not saying like, hey, just let him go. But at the end of the day, just pump the brakes. He's not the guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl.
Deshaun
No,
Watson's
and-
available.
Who is?
Deshaun.
In typical Cleveland fashion, we're going to watch this train fall off the tracks, go get another quarterback, and start all over again.
Hey, wait. Can Deshaun play? Is he allowed to play?
No, he's still got to go through
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't know. We were talking about that yesterday.
Because if he's allowed to play, trade him. straight up trade him. If he's allowed to play, I want him here.
I think he is allowed to play.
I want whoever who can help me win football games, and I don't think Baker's that guy.
Doesn't he still have to go through the
No, he's not on any
thing?
list or commissioner's exempt list or anything. I think he's able to play. I think he's just said that he's not going to play for Houston.
Yeah, like me and a buddy were watching a Browns game, and we were going back and forth, and we were actually talking about Miami. And I was like, yeah, I think they wanted to trade with Miami, and he's like, well, can Deshaun play? I was like, I was under the impression he just didn't want to play for Houston, but then he goes, well, he might not be able to play because of the legal allegations or whatnot. I was like, but a lot of those got dropped.
Oh, of course they were going to get dropped. It was all. I mean, come on. If you seriously believe that came out of nowhere,
Well,
that
he's
many
still going
cases.
through all that too. He's still going through all the legal stuff. It hasn't.
Yeah, and he's going to go through it. But I don't think it had anything to do with him not being able to play. Deshaun Watson didn't want to play. That was evident. I mean, I think everybody could agree on that.
If he can play, Deshaun, since we know you're watching, come to Cleveland.
With our 170 people, he's one of them. I don't know. There might be a backroom handshake on this deal with the NFL and Houston. What I'm reading right now is basically they don't play him, and they're not penalizing him. The NFL is just kind of sitting on this, waiting for it to take its course, because they don't want to draw any attention to it.
There's no reason to suspend him if he's not playing. I mean, I get it. I get that.
And I mean, look what they're doing right now. Davis Mills or whatever his name is playing. If Deshaun's not back by now, he's not coming back.
No,
dude's not coming back.
There's no way.
So we got to take a break. When we come back, believe it or not, we will talk high school sports. We will talk some of the games that surprised us on Friday and Saturday. I've got a couple right off the top of my head that I am really, really shocked when I step back here at HQ. And, of course, we'll have our Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark presented by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. All that and more when we come back on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by these great sponsors.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense, to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. We're all here. You're all there. Let's do a quick game of Stock Up, Stock Down, High School Edition. Lots of big games around the Valley on Friday night. We covered them all. Every single one of them we had covered for you from pillar to post. YSN had you covered once again. Billy, who stocks up, who stocks down in high school football?
Brookfield, stock down. They got Garrettsville this week. Going to be a problem for them again. They're going to limp into the playoffs, I still think, with 2 games remaining. But the way their offense was really non-existent last week against LeBray, no points total, missed on some big plays, overthrowing, underthrowing. The offensive line just really couldn't do anything to the LeBray defensive front. Coach Armini had like this crazy idea. Like he just had new guys coming. It looked like an NFL game. Guys were coming in on 3rd down and 2nd and long, and the meat package was coming in on 1st down and running situations, and they couldn't. And the Brookfield offensive line just could not handle anything that LeBray was throwing at them, and just really looked confused at the front. No blitzing, really. There was no blitzing. It was just 4 guys just really giving the rush. Stock up, man, just Hubbard. South Range, the teams that just keep on, Garrettsville, the teams that just keep on keeping on and look to make good runs in the postseason.
Quinn?
Stock down, I'll say Valley for me. They first half was just miserable. So I think they got some stuff that they need to figure out moving into the playoffs. I mean, I think they're still going to make it. I don't think they're in any trouble there. But there were some questions that I had watching that game. So I'm going to go Stock down there. Stock up, I'm going to go Canfield. They're playing extremely good football right now, and they're just going to keep rolling right into the playoffs.
All right, Rob.
Stock down is going to be Struthers. I picked Struthers to win that game on Friday night, but like I said, I was leaning towards Niles just because, Struthers losing their starting quarterback. It's just not going to sit well with that team for the rest of the year, and that offense is going to rely on the backup. So sad to say, but, it's not looking good for them for the rest of the year, especially with the what's going on with the coaching. Stock up is going to be I'm going to go right off of Quinn. Canfield is they just look so good, period. And they're going to bring that momentum into the playoffs, and they're going to look good doing it.
I like that. EB?
Stock up. Beaver local, man. Starting off 0-2, and then you rip off, 5 in a row or whatever it is, and then they should have, I'd like to say an easy win. I don't want to say anyone's easy, but a favorable game they should win against Martins Ferry. I believe they won the league. Coming in the year, I didn't think they would be where they're at right now. So kudos to Coach McKenzie and what the Beaver local Beavers are doing. Stock down. As much as it pains me to say this, Salem, dropped another one to Carrollton, and I don't know if they think, or from the sounds of it, they're becoming a little too one-dimensional. They have playmakers and they have athletes, and sometimes when they figure it out, it's too little too late in the game. And you still have some pretty big games coming up. Canton South is another team with a winning record. I think they're 6-2, and everyone knows what Week 10 is against the Branch. And you kind of took yourself out of the EBC contention now, but if you ever wanted to redeem yourself for 2 losses, these would be 2 great wins for you.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, my stock down. Yeah, I was looking to, and EB was right before me, so it was Salem for sure. I mean, the games they've lost, a under 500 Alliance team, and then a Carrollton team that was good, and a lot of their wins, honestly, too. Like, only one team's got a winning record that they've beat. So I don't know if maybe it's their true colors are starting to show through right now, that maybe they were just a little hyped up too much. Like you said, Canton South and West Branch are going to be coming up, and they could end up the season 6-4. So my stock up might be a surprise to some people, but it's the Cowboys. Cheney. I think they're finally starting to figure things out now that they got their new quarterback there after the injury. It's taken them a couple weeks to kind of figure out what they needed to do, and I don't think anybody probably really gave them a chance against Howland, and they went out there and they took care of business. So I like the Cowboys right now. Stock up.
My stock up is going to be 2 teams. I'm going to go with West Branch because to me they're the highest scoring team in the entire state. That's impressive by itself, but the way they're doing it, continually passing to and running different guys, they're going to be tough. They're going to be very, very tough down the stretch. Salem's got their hands full, certainly. But also I want to give credit to Lisbon. How about Lisbon on Friday night winning the Spaghetti Bowl, going into the brand new facility in Leetonia and taking home the bowl, taking home the noodles, taking home the meatballs, and taking home the dub. Lisbon has been through hell this year, and that is not even exaggerating, and they have come out on the other side. 2 wins now, right? 2 wins for Lisbon, and well-deserved. They've been in a bunch of games too, so stock up on Lisbon. They're figuring out how to win again, and if that happens, it could be a dangerous program down in the Columbiana County seat. Stock down, man. I just don't know where you even start with like a Wyndham. You feel bad for them. They had the lightning delay on Friday night, had to come back at noon the next day, and then lost 12-0. It's not the guys. We're not knocking stock down. It's just, man, it is a tough ride right now for the Bombers. And we were so high on them for, 5 weeks? And they've just, since they lost Chase they've had some big-time trouble finding their next guy that is going to step up. So hopefully the Bombers can get it turned around this week. I think I have them against Matthews. So
I got 2 more.
Yep.
One will surprise you, one won't. Fitch, stock down, and Ursuline, stock down. Now, Ursuline's schedule is going to help them coming out next couple weeks, but I can't stand when they're on defense. I can't even watch right now. It's that bad. They need to fix that real fast and in a hurry, especially, they got their sights set on, a big run in the playoffs, and they just can't count on, hey, when we get to the playoffs, we'll play D4 teams. Like, you got to start correcting some things, being in the right position, making solo tackles. Those are the kind of things that you should be clearing up. And then when you are playing those D4 teams, you'll be in the hunt there, but defensively you got to get a lot better.
What do you think about this?
Fitch gonna have their hands full when they play Warren too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care what anything Scotty has to say right now. As of right now, Scotty, your statements are irrelevant to me. Baker stinks, and that looks like an apology to me, and I don't acknowledge him anymore.
More to come on Wednesday. Nobody wants to miss Wednesday's show, I promise you.
Yeah. 397 points so far West Branch has scored.
And they only gave up, 100 low hundreds?
Which is about the points given up from Ursuline right now.
Yeah. I was looking, too, because I was thinking, just obviously being around them all the time. South Range, too, they've scored 360. They're averaging 6 touchdowns a game. And West Branch, their lowest output was 37.
It's all good, Scotty.
So let's talk this. Who surprised you on Friday or Saturday? Positive, negative. Who surprised you?
As a team?
Yeah.
I think for me the biggest surprise was Valley Christian no showing. Really, that was the surprise over the weekend. Brookfield not scoring was one, but I think
Brookfield not scoring was a huge surprise.
I really thought Valley Christian would be in that game, if not win it. Even though I picked Southern to win, but the no-show.
Yeah, that was my biggest one. Was that game, because I was looking to see some update scores on that, and when I saw they were getting housed in the first half, I was like, holy crap. What Southern's for real. I was like, okay, I know they're not one of our schools, but they're always playing a ton of our schools. But yeah, that shocked me, because I thought to myself, man, Valley's got an inside track here. They could be fighting for a league title, and I think that pretty much could almost knock them out of it. I think United now can win it all.
Especially because they didn't get a chance to play
honestly,
United.
I think they're not a team, but I think Southern wins the league. They just they're figuring it out. Defensively, they bought into what Eric Potts is doing down there now, and he's got some things rolling. Rich Wright, he's got those kids. He's putting them in successful spots, and it angers me because they're not a YSN school, and I that's kind of why I went against them, because. Not
Same, because I think I picked them every week last year. Right. Nobody was more upset than I was. But I'm like, what do you mean they're not a YSN school? What?
The two that were most shocking to me was one, West Branch, and it's not because they won, but because they scored 53 points in less than 2 quarters. Yep. That's astronomical. That is Madden video game numbers. And then it was a game that we did, and I never got to see them, but Waterloo. They do not have a quarterback. They threw one time. They run Wildcat the whole time, and I think it's
like Garrettsville.
They scored 28 points doing that.
They run it between 2 people. It's either a direct snap here or direct snaps there. They threw it one time. The dude leaked behind the Jackson Milton defense. I think everyone on the Waterloo sign was doing jumping jacks and pointing at the guy, and the guy was doing jumping jacks and pointing at him. And I'm not even sure if the kid had his eyes open when he threw it. It was like the Friday Night Lights. My eyes were closed. I just sling it backyard football. Hope to God someone catches it, did it, and he took it in for like a 60-something yard touchdown, which was awesome. But Waterloo impresses me, and to think that you don't have a quarterback, and literally Jackson Milton was putting 8, 9, 10, 11 guys in the box and bringing their inside linebackers, and they were still ripping off 6, 7 yards a carry. It was something insane.
Hot route.
Yeah. Red 7.
Valley Christian's mine too. The team that surprised me the most. I actually I tuned in for a little bit, and I tuned in again 10 minutes later, and I think there was like 38 points scored between that. And what I hated was seeing them lose the way they did. But what I loved seeing was on Twitter 18 hours ago, Joey Batista, the quarterback, takes our Valley's wings get clipped by Indians and puts a retweet, quotes it, and says, only makes us better. That gives me everything I need to know about this Valley team, because that is Andy Hake's thumbprint.
That's
right
Hake's
there.
all over, yeah, exactly.
I love it. Who surprised you, Rob? Anybody?
Again, going off of what Billy was saying, the actual biggest surprise Friday night period was Brookfield actually getting shut out. I didn't think I was pretty sure LeBray would end up winning that game, as bad as I wanted to see Brookfield win it, but for them to get shut out like that, no. That was by far the biggest shocker.
Yeah, you were the only one that picked Brookfield.
Yeah, just because I wanted to see him win so bad, but I thought surely LeBray would end up winning that game, but to get shut out, no. I sure as hell didn't think that was.
It was so, like, in the first quarter, we were calling the game, and it was, they had these speedy, smaller guys coming in on second and long, third and long, obvious passing situations, and they were just getting to the quarterback. And the quarterback, Donovan, had to run for his life. I mean, just had to run for his life, and was out of tune with his wide receivers the entire night. And then, like I said, the meat package, these big boys, these guys that were coming in that were close to 300 pounds coming up and just stuffing the holes. And the linebackers weren't getting touched all night. So they were free roaming and getting to the hat. It was we've never seen that defense from LeBray this season. Now, if this defense can carry over, they're a problem. They're a problem in the playoffs.
Eric Cullen says that LeBray brought it on Friday.
They did.
They get stamped for it. Quinn, who surprised you one way or the other?
I think Champion surprised me the most, putting up 48 points on Camel. I mean, me and Billy saw them play LeBray, kind of when LeBray was going through a phase of awful defense, and they couldn't really put up points against LeBray. So I think putting up 48 points with the offense that they run was shocking to me.
Paul, can I speak for both of us here and say that I was super surprised at the South Range game on Friday with Jefferson?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we were up in the booth and sitting there talking about Jefferson's not going away. I mean, they kept fighting, and they made that a game. And I talked to you before the game started. I was like, I think this will be a game for about a quarter or so. And just because I think Jefferson's got something to prove still. They're young, and if you're tired of hearing about it, listen, it's the truth. Them, Niles, Struthers, Gerard, they're young. They're young teams. Yeah, they're going to be moving up and making some noise in the NBA. And Jefferson wasn't. Hey, listen, they had to fight one of the big dogs, and they weren't going to go down just easy. I mean, and listen, they had an awesome 80-some yard kick return for a touchdown. That was their first score. And then they just kept knocking on the door and saying, we're here, we're here. And listen, eventually the South Range grind got to them, and, the Raiders put up 63 points. But they didn't go away. I mean, they made that a game in that first half. I mean, they scored 21 in the first half and didn't score again, but that's credit to, halftime adjustments by the staff of South Range saying, listen, all right, we know what we need to do. Let's tighten this up. But I was impressed. Jefferson they're going to make some noise, and they were not going to go away.
All right, we're going to do something we typically don't do here on YSN. It's typically a no-no. But what I want to know right now, your personal top 3 out of the 50 or 49, 48 football schools that we have, excluding Badger and Heartland Christian, who's the top 3 right now that you're really, really thinking could have a chance in the playoffs this year? Top 3.
In any order?
Yeah, you don't have to rank them. Just the top 3.
The top 3 to me, I say obviously West Branch is one of them. Mm-hmm. South Range is the other one, and I'm torn between Canfield and Hubbard, but I'm going to lean towards Hubbard and say Hubbard because listen, you're undefeated and you're rolling right now. So, and you're going to have a 2,000-yard rusher come this week. So, I say those 3 are going to make some runs.
EB?
Yeah. So we're talking like to make the deepest playoff run, or just in general?
Yeah, top 3, the most dangerous teams in the YSN family going into Week 11.
Okay, yeah, because like you look at some of those regions, like Division 3, Region 9, and Division 5, Region 17 is brutal, but I got to go West Branch. Look at the points they're putting up. Like they score at will, and they hit you so many different ways.
Do you need a defense at that point if you're scoring that many points?
I mean, you can't say that their defense hasn't been well either. They only give up like 17 points or something.
Right.
Like,
I'm just asking out of curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, a defense is always going to help you. Springfield proved that you need a defense, if you make those deep playoff runs last year.
You need a defense in the playoffs for sure.
Because, even some of those games were, higher scoring, they still had some big stops. I'm going to go South Range. Everyone's waiting on that, knock on wood. I hope both teams are healthy and they get there, but everyone's waiting on that Kirtland South Range showdown. And I'm with Paul. I could go like 3 other teams right now, but I'm going to go love to Springfield, until they get knocked off and lose that, crown from the past couple of years. You got to give it to them, and they're gearing up, to get back there. And I told everyone after they played Geneva, like, Springfield's back. They figured it out. They're becoming that well-oiled machine, and these games in the league are just, they're just the appetizer right now. They're waiting on that main course.
Yeah, they're tune-up games.
Amos says South Range, Hubbard, and Canfield. Okay, so we're kind of in the same ballpark, just different seats. Rob, how about you?
I'm going to go Garrettsville, definitely South Range. I understand what Paul was saying about, kind of tossing up between Hubbard and Canfield, but the thing about Hubbard, as good as TC Caffey is, they have, what's his name? I have a brain fart, number 8. I'm forgetting his name. So my thing with Hubbard is they could become one-dimensional in the playoffs, because when I watched that game against Struthers, I think the quarterback threw four times, and so I think as you face these better teams in the playoffs, that these teams will be able to figure out Hubbard, in fact. So I'm going to go Garrettsville, South Range, and Canfield right now.
Okay. Quinn?
For me, it's West Branch, because like Eric said, they're just putting up a ridiculous amount of points. Springfield, because they're Springfield. They've done it for 2 years now. Why not? And Warren JFK. It's my last team.
Wow, JFK spotting.
I mean, they're playing a D2 schedule as a D7, and no one else in D7 does that.
Garrettsville, South Range, and LeBray from EC. Okay, Billy?
First off, I'm not putting South Range in there because until they beat Kirtland, I don't care what they do. I've said this before. It's not that I don't have faith in them. I do. I think they're one of the best teams in the area. It's just I'm not going to talk about them until they beat Kirtland. So
I smell Ursuline.
I'm not going to hear Ursuline. So here's mine. I'm going to have Garrettsville in there. I'm going to have Springfield in there, and I'm going to have Canfield. I think these guys have the potential to have the longest run. I'm obviously not going to put LeBray in there. Everybody knows that if I put LeBray in there, everybody's just going to call me a homer, so I'm not going to do it. But although I think they're on the outside looking in, if they play defense the way they do, I think they can absolutely be in that top 3. But those are my 3 teams that I expect to be the final 3 teams right now left in the playoffs.
See, it's funny. I don't know that you can take South Range and Garrettsville in if you are under that, because I think Garrettsville plays Kirtland first as it's lined up right now. So that would be interesting.
Because Garrettsville's sitting in the 4th spot. They get Kirtland, and then South Range would see Sugar Creek Garaway. So, but I mean,
so I'm not putting it in. Then Garrettsville will beat Kirtland, so that way South Range don't have to. So I mean, like, you'll just say thank you to Garrettsville.
Canfield's a tough pick to go with too.
Can you imagine South Range versus Garrettsville?
That'd be awesome.
For a regional championship, that's what that would be your matchup. Regional championship. As long as they stay the same and nobody moves around. Yeah.
Like I said, that region's, dude, it's a slaughterhouse. Division 3, Region 9 is
Division 3, Region 9 with Canfield
is even worse. I mean, you have Hubbard at 5 and Canfield at 6.
Hubbard 5.
And I'd like to put Hubbard in that mix too, but like, Rob kind of broke it down. They're just a little too one-dimensional for the playoffs. Some of these teams are going to be able to adjust to just stopping the run. They're going to be able to Bill Belichick their way. Some of these teams are going to be able to say, we're going to take away the run, beat us through the air.
I like where Eric is thinking right now. I like the Springfield in LeBray.
I hope that happens, because guess what, Eric? I'll be there.
You will be there. You will very much be there. I'm going to take South Range. I'm going to take Warren JFK, because that's been my pick since the jump of this thing. I think JFK can still get into the championship. I really, if not the Final Four. But I still bank on them getting into the championship and rolling the dice when they get there. They got to clean up a few things. They got to get tough. They got to get tough and be able to battle through adversity. Last year's team could. This year's team has to answer the bell. And the third one is West Branch. I don't know how anybody could go against the top team in the region who has yet to lose a game, yet to even be slowed down. I mean, can you imagine how many punts they have if they're scoring that many points? I mean, it's like playing Madden. You don't even need a punter. Just cut him and pick up an extra receiver. I'm really interested in that stat. How many punts does West Branch have to this point in the season going into Week 9? That would be the stat of the week. I can almost guarantee you.
We're a betting company,
You know what's crazy?
That would be a fun over/under. Would you go 10? What would you say?
I'd say under.
Like, you know what's crazy is their closest game though would probably shock you if you had to look at all their opponents. Their closest was Howland. Yeah. They only won by 3 points against Howland.
Oh, that doesn't shock me. I called Howland to win that weekend. I firmly believe Howland plays up against everybody. I really do.
But they just got beat by Cheney.
And Mooney.
Again, Howland plays up and down.
Yeah. I don't know. And you look at D6, we were just talking about if the playoffs started, this week, we have 2 more weeks, I understand that. Springfield will be playing Middle Ridge right out the gate.
Yikes.
And it was 55-7 the last time they played.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, and listen, this will probably hurt our quote-unquote sales for Week 1 of the playoffs, but there's going to be some ugly matchups Week 1. Ugly matchups.
Yeah, that's the 16. It should be 12. 12 should be the number. It's just a perfect match made in heaven. The top 4 get a bye. Let them have a week off.
All right, let's hit it.
Too much sense, Billy.
Hit that lightning. It's time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark? Presented by our friends over at DickeyElectric.com. Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, residential, anything electrical, you need to hit up the official electrical sponsor of your sports network, Joe Dickey Electric. Let's go, Paul. Paul, lead us off here.
Yeah, mine's a positive spark. This weekend was a great weekend. We had, it was a football game on Friday, and then Saturday we had a wedding. I say we have a wedding because, Carrie and I double up with the wedding. She's the photographer, I'm the DJ, and the wedding we had was a third wedding for this family. The second daughter on one side and the first daughter on the other side. So we've done 3 weddings for this family, and this was our third, and they were just an absolute blast. And then, we had a birthday party yesterday for Avery. So it was just a very good weekend, positive sparks, nothing really negative. So it was a good way to have start the week. So I was happy.
All right, let's go EB.
Let's see. I guess a positive spark was my flight got canceled today, so I got to hop on a Power Hour on a rare Monday. But also the negative spark, I should be landing in Florida literally right now, and I don't care who you affiliate with as far as politically what you believe, but like this whole there's a ton of delays in Southwest because they're requiring people to be vaccinated or whatnot. Like right now, the places are hurting for workers, and I feel like sometimes we're shooting ourselves in the foot right now. Nonetheless, it was more of not a huge thing, just an inconvenience for me, so I can't really complain too much, but that would be it.
All right. Roboito?
Hearts are heavy today. Tomorrow's never promised. Hug your kids, your significant other, tell them you love them. We lost a dear friend / family member. Meatball, we love you. Just ask everybody to say a prayer for Cheryl, Gio, Juliana. To say this is rough is an understatement, and I love you guys very much.
A negative, but it's kind of a positive at the end. Logan Stauffer ended up breaking his fibula in game against Latonia, and he got a 4 to 7 week medical whatever diagnosis or whatever, and it came back today as closer to 4. So it'll be kind of right in time for basketball. It'll be good for us.
All right.
Mine's a negative. Mine's a negative. It's actually not going to do anything with football. It just happened to me over the weekend. So all those Scotty Baker stinks. A negative spark. We had to, Kate and I and some friends had to go move somebody out of the house of a bad spot, and it's just weird to me how a grown man, 40 years old, can act the way that he acts. In such a childish way, and throw the fits that he does, and say the things that he does, and acts the way that he does, and then in a daytime just kind of just say, oh, but that really wasn't me. Here's some roses. Life is so much better today than it is without you, and I can't. And every cliche in the book, and I'm like, what did this guy do? Go online and Google poems? Like, oh look, how to save my life, da 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 da, and then just go like, I'm gonna tell her this. Like, you're an idiot, and at the end of the day, the dude's a Michigan fan, so that should be enough right there to know this dude's crazy.
I love it. Mine's going to be a positive spark. Got a chance to spend some time with the family this weekend. Just kind of kick up the feet and chill and do some things we've been wanting to do for the past couple weeks. Put the house back in order. And again, I know I say it a lot. My wife, my rock, the heart and soul of the Oakley family continues to. Paul, was that you? That was disgusting.
What?
We can hear you burp.
I didn't burp.
First, I thought it was Billy's dog, but
I was going to say it was Billy's dog. That's not the case. Anyway, as I was getting to, just appreciate my significant other. Coming off of Billy's, I appreciate my wife more than she'll ever know, and she's probably rolling her eyes like crazy. So, Sarah, I love you, and just thank you for all you do for me and for the entire family. And Rob, our thoughts and prayers are with you, man. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I know you brought that up a few weeks ago with your friend, and may he rest in peace.
Thanks.
That is going to do it for the YSN Power Hour. We appreciate you guys tuning in, as always. Eric Collins chiming in. Negative Browns cut the shaft. Yes, Baker isn't the guy. I'll tell you one thing.
What he said is fair, because he's talking about the pass interference. It's fair. And he's also, listen, Eric, we get along real well. We're right on the page.
I'm just going to ask, do you think this is going to create a divide in the locker room? Is it Baker's fault or everybody else's? Because apparently his wife has gone to social media to talk about.
Which is always a good idea. Man. Always a good idea that your wife get involved.
Bad news, buddy.
Let the experts handle it.
And can I also say that I'm tired of Baker Mayfield bringing up his wife in his ads for Progressive or whatever they are. Not a sponsor yet.
State Farm. Yeah.
Yeah, I like easy. We get it, buddy. You're married. You're married. Like, and I'm sure he could say the same thing about me. But like, you're on national television throwing your wife's name in the end of a commercial. Relax.
Well, she's in a bunch of those commercials with them too.
It's not her.
Hey, but she's going to be on the list here real soon too.
Uh-oh.
How about them Cowboys?
See ya.
Who called it?